Hello, everybody. All right, it's Saturday morning. I just got done doing some hot yoga and I stopped by my office to get a protein shake before I went to my next stop. And while I was driving to yoga, I was listening to a podcast on limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs is something that I have worked really hard on and just really tried to uncover what my limiting beliefs are in life. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs today and kind of how to recognize them. Now I'll do a podcast myself on limiting beliefs and really dive deep into recognizing limiting beliefs and how to figure out what they are and some processes you can go through to figure out what your limiting beliefs are. But limiting beliefs are formed between ages 0 and 7. So typically, I mean, every once in a while you can get a limiting belief that's something that happens later in life, but typically they're formed between ages 0 and 7. And I really wish I would have known this before I had children because I'm sure, just inadvertently, not on purpose, gave my children some limiting beliefs that I wish I wouldn't have done that. But so ages 0 to 7, things happen in our lives, and that gives us these limiting beliefs. And then as we go through life, other things reinforce those limiting beliefs. So some really big ones that I have had to work on are I am unworthy. So I feel like, for most of my life, I have felt unworthy of love, unworthy of happiness, unworthy of financial stability, just, unworthy. And then also a big one that I feel like that I have to deal with a lot is I am an imposter. So, I've just never really felt like I'm fit in, or I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like you know what I'm doing isn't right because I'm not smart enough. I'm not. Who am I? Who am I to be able to do this? How can people listen to me? How can people identify with me? Like, who am I? So I have had to do a lot of work around imposter syndrome, and knowing that I'm not an imposter, and I am authentic, and I'm being authentically myself. But it's taken a lot of time because I think it probably goes back to being unworthy. I have this deep rooted limiting belief of being unworthy, and of not being seen and not being heard. I feel very inadequate sometimes, and I feel like that's probably another limiting belief. I am inadequate. So, I've never felt really smart, and I've never felt like I feel like I've had to try really hard and work really hard. So those are some of my limiting beliefs, and me being able to recognize them and start to reframe them has really helped me do more in life and really be big and stand in my power and do the things that I'm doing now. And limiting beliefs are still there. Like, we can reframe them and work through them and shift them and do everything. But when things happen, when you get stressed or overwhelmed, tired, in my case, sometimes when I get tired, sometimes they'll still pop up and I'll still feel them. And it's something that we all have to work on. And it's important to recognize your limiting beliefs. So really think back to ages 0 to 7. What are some memories you have of 0 to 7? And not necessarily the good memories, like, oh, I kicked the winning soccer goal in my kindergarten soccer championship, or whatever you do when you're in kindergarten. Think about maybe some negative things that happened. Like, for me, my father died when I was 3, and I don't remember it at all. But my very first memory is a memory of loss and longing and waiting. My mother had gotten remarried, and I remember, I think I was around 5, and I was looking out a window waiting for her to come back. If my memory serves me correctly, and I was 5, so this may be not even correct, but I believe she was coming back from her honeymoon with my stepdad, and I remember just watching and waiting and feeling lost and feeling lonely and just feeling this deep, deep sadness and maybe a little worthlessness and unworthiness. So that's my first memory. That's the memory that I feel like is my first memory. And I think that probably has affected me and impacted me deeply. And so it's something that I work with. It's something that I reframe. It's something that I continually try to do. It's a muscle I flex every single day because I want to get better at it. and I don't want to have these limiting beliefs. I don't want to be held back in life. I don't want to show up small anymore. So, what are some of your limiting beliefs? Think about them. Think about some early memories that maybe impacted you in a negative way. What were they? How did you feel? What are some feelings? What are some one-word feelings you had around that memory? And try to get to the core of that limiting belief. I feel unworthy. I feel inadequate. I feel unseen. Like, what are those limiting beliefs? All right, like I said, I'll do a podcast on this, and we'll really dive deep into limiting beliefs, why they're formed, where they are, why they're there, because limiting beliefs do have a reason to be in our lives, and a lot of times they keep us kind of safe. They keep us safe and secure, but if we stay in these limiting beliefs, we'll never be able to stand in our true power. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.